Hi, Algebra 2 Trig Advanced students. As promised, I am going to finish the day 3 lines assignment that we didn't complete in class. So let's get to that. So the first question is a line through 2, 6, and is parallel to the line 2x plus 3y equals 8, and write your line in standard form. So what we know is that we have a point. Okay, we have 2, 6, so we're going to put this in the form y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. And what we have here is this is x1 and this is y1. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug that point in. So we have y minus y1, which is 6, equals our slope, which we don't know yet, times x minus the x-coordinate, which is 2. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this equation right here, and we're going to find the slope, use the slope right here. Okay. And what we need to remember is that parallel lines have the same slope. So if I can find out what the slope is here, I can use that in my equation. So the slope, in order to find that, is we're going to solve for y. We're going to go 3y equals negative 2x plus 8. And then we're going to have y equals negative 2/3 x plus 8/3. So the slope that I'm actually going to take and use in the other equation is negative 2/3. So put that there. And because it asked me to put my equation in standard, or my answer in standard form, I'm actually going to have to first put this in a slope-intercept form, which means I'm going to solve for y, and then I'm going to put it in standard form. This form right here is what we call point-slope form. That's what that is. So let's get to this. Let's see, we're going to solve for y. So we have y equals negative 2/3. We're going to distribute negative 2/3 x right there, plus 2 times 2, which is 4 over 3, and then bring the 6 over, so plus 6. Now, we need to combine these, but we can't combine them unless they have a common denominator. So I have a choice. I can either say that that's 6 4/3, or I can multiply by 3 over 3, which makes 18. And 18 plus 4 is 24, so we have 24/3. And let's see, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Excuse me, that's not right. Let's fix that. So that's 22. Fixing it. Thank you. So we have 22/3. So then we have y equals negative 2/3 x plus 22/3. Now this is what we call slope-intercept form. And you saw this on the previous screen. And this is located also, the slides are posted on Schoology. So what we have is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 22/3. To put it in standard form, which is what we need to finish, we need to move this 2/3 over to the other side here so that it's with the x. So when I do that, I'm going to have positive 2/3 x plus y is equal to 22/3. Now, for this to be in standard form, not only do you have to have the x and the y on the same side, but the a term, which is this one right here, has to be a positive integer. So what we're going to do in order to get that there is we're going to multiply the entire equation by 3. Because it is an equation, you do have to do the same thing to both sides. So if I multiply by 3 on the left, I do have to multiply by 3 on the right. So when I multiply by 3 here, I'm going to get 2x plus 3y is equal to 22. And now we're in standard form. There we go. Okay. The next question is we have a line that contains the points 3, 5. So we have 3, 5, which is right around here. And we have negative 2, 7, which is right around here. So we want to find the equation of this line that goes through both of those points. And then they want us to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So I'm just going to choose a point. I'm going to choose 3, 5. It doesn't matter which one you choose. You're both going to get the same answer. So if I do that, I put it in slope-intercept form. Anytime they give you a point put it in point slope form. So we have y minus 5 equals my slope, which I don't know what that is yet, times x minus 3. Remember, here's your x1 coordinate and here's your y1 coordinate. So now in order to find the slope here, we're going to use the slope formula. And the slope formula says that if I subtract my y's, here, difference of my y's over the difference of my x's. So I'm going to go 7 minus 5 over negative 2 minus 3. And what I end up getting is 2 over negative 5, or negative 2/5. So now when I write my equation, I have y minus 5 equals negative 2/5 x minus 3. And this form, again, is point slope form. Now, in order to get this in slope-intercept form, I need to solve for y. That's that form. So in order to do that, I'm going to isolate the y. So I'm going to get y equals negative 2/5 x, I'm distributing right here, plus 6 over 5, and then move this 5 over, and it becomes plus 5. Now again, I need to combine these two terms here. So I'm going to extend the page a little bit because I'm running out of room. So, oops, hold on a second. Let's see, get rid of this. Let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, and go back to writing. So in order to add these two together, again, I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply by 5/5. So I have 25 plus 6, which is 31/5. And then I have y minus 2/5 x plus 31/5. And this is solved for y. Where's my equals? Y equals negative 2/5 x plus 31/5. So now I'm finished with this equation because this is my equation of my line in slope-intercept form. So the next problem that we have is a line that has an x-intercept of negative 4. So that's going to be over here. And at negative 4, 0. And a y-intercept of 8. That's going to be right here at 0, 8. Write the equation in point slope form. Again, as soon as they give you a point, we're going to put it in point slope form. So pick a point. We can either choose this point right here, and I'm going to choose that x1. Here's my y1. So I go y minus y1, which is 8, equals my slope, not sure what that is yet, times x minus 0. And in order to find my slope, I can use my slope formula, which is subtract my y's. It's the difference of my y's over the difference of my x's. So that's going to be 8 minus 0 over 0 minus 4. So that's going to be 8 over negative 4, which means my slope is negative 2. So my equation is going to be y minus 8 equals negative 2 times x minus 0. And this right here is in point slope form. Point slope form. The last page is a line that passes through the point 1, negative 7. So here's 1, negative 7 down here, and is perpendicular to the line here. Now this is the key to this problem. This is my point that I'm going to start. So again, I'm going to go y minus, so it's the opposite of that. So it'll be plus 7 equals my slope times x minus 1. I need the slope. In order for me to find my slope, I'm going to go to this equation right here, which is 3x minus 8y, solve for y, and then once I've solved for y, I'm going to use that slope here. So I'm going to go negative 8y, oh boy, negative 8y is equal to negative 3x plus 9. I'm going to divide everything by negative 8. And my slope for this equation is 3/8. However, it told me it's perpendicular. And if you recall, perpendicular lines have the opposite reciprocal. So if I wanted to use the slope that's perpendicular, that's going to be negative 8/3. And so that's going to go here. So we have y plus 7 equals negative 8/3 times x minus 1. And they didn't give me any kind of way that I had to have my equation, so we're going to leave it in point slope form. And lastly, find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the pair of points right there 4, negative 4, and negative 6, 10. So what we're doing here is I'm going to graph this. And when I graph this, what it looks like, I have 4, negative 4, which is about here, and negative 6, 10, which is up here. So we have this line that goes through here, just like that. And we want to put this in point-slope form, but they want the equation of the perpendicular bisector. That means that I want to know what this equation is of this line that's going to be bisecting this, which means that's going to equal that, and it's perpendicular. So we are going to use something like what we did up on top in problem number 4. But first, we need to find the midpoint, which is right here. In order to find this midpoint, I need to take my points, which are, this one is negative 6, negative 6, 10, and this one, which is 4, negative 4. And in order to find the midpoint, you add the x's up. So we're going to go midpoint is equal to 4 plus negative 6 divided by 2, and negative 4 plus 10 divided by 2. And so 4 plus negative 6 is negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Negative 4 plus 10 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my midpoint is negative 1, 3. So that's more like over here. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to use that point to find point-slope form of this line. So we say y minus 3 equals the slope, which we don't, and this m stands for the midpoint. This, I'm going to use a different letter. Let's use a. And then we're going to go x plus 1 so that we don't get the two confused. Okay, so now we have to find the slope of this line. We need the slope. So in order to find the slope of that line, I need to take the slope of the red line and find the perpendicular and take the perpendicular, which is the negative reciprocal of that. So let's find the slope of this line. The slope of that line right there is that's negative 6, 10. That's 4, negative 4. So we're going to subtract our y's. So we'll use a equals the difference of our y's. So that we'll say negative 4 minus 10, and the difference of our x's, which is 4 minus negative 6. So negative 4 minus 10 is negative 14 over this, which makes 10. And so that reduces to, we're going to divide by 2. So that's going to be negative 7/5. And now to use this and put this in point-slope form to finish, we're going to take the opposite reciprocal of this, which will be positive 5/7. So our final equation will be y minus 3 equals 5/7 times x plus 1. And we'll box that up. That's point-slope form. Okay, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.